Welcome to Everyone Loves Guitar, where we sit down and talk with interesting professional guitar players, uncover their stories, and discover what makes them tick. If you love guitar, music, and the backstory of people's lives, stick around. You're in the right place. Hi, this is Craig. Just want to let you know you can now advertise here on Everyone Loves Guitar podcast. For more information, go to everyonelovesguitar.com/advertise. That's everyonelovesguitar.com/advertise. Hey everybody, this is Craig Garber from Everyone Loves Guitar, and in my pursuit to interview every single great guitar player in New York, we've got a real cool one today. We're with Yotam Silberstein. He's originally from Israel. As a child, he was recognized as a guitar prodigy and was invited to perform with many of the nation's top musicians. At 21, he performed at Italy's renowned Umbria Jazz Festival. He released a critically acclaimed debut album, set out on an extensive tour of Europe. Man, at 21, that's amazing. Mm-hmm. After that, he got a scholarship to the prestigious New School. He moved to New York in 2005. He was a finalist in the Thelonious Monk International Jazz Guitar Competition that same year. Man, I think, do you know Cheryl Bailey?
Sure do.
I think she was a finalist in that same competition one year, wasn't she?
I think yes, but I think actually 20 or 15 years before that.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, but I remember that.
I think there were only two times where they did the guitar competition, and I guess she was in the first one.
Yeah, I think so.
I was in the second one.
Yotam recorded and has played with jazz elites James Moody, the Heath Brothers, Roy Hargrove, George Coleman, David Sanborn, Marcus Miller, Paquito D'rivera, Christian McBride, John Patitucci, Monty Alexander, and many others. And he's equally adept at jazz, Brazilian, world music, blues, and bebop. He's applied his talent to composing music for films, and in 2015, he received the Sundance Time Warner Award for film scoring. What film was that for?
It was part of like a Sundance Film Lab. It was a film that I was working on with a French composer, French director. The movie was called Red Olive Tree.
Very cool.
I don't know whatever happened with that movie. I wonder.
Did the check clear? Yotam has also toured as a leader in major clubs and jazz festivals in Europe, Japan, South America, Asia, and the U.S. And man, I know how busy you are. Thank you so much for your time. I appreciate you coming on the show.
It's my pleasure, Craig. Thank you for inviting me.
You're welcome. What are some of the best? I mean, like I've interviewed a lot of hot players from Israel. What are some of the best aspects of the music scene going on over there?
Man, I've been asked this question so many times, and I'm not sure what. There are many different answers, so I'm really not sure. I think maybe it was the level was very high, so there was a lot of people that was really trying to play in a high level, and I think everybody kind of encouraged each other, to get better, and I guess that kind of created a little scene. I mean that's one version.
Yeah.
Some people say it's the hummus,
Do you know Guy King?
The hummus.
Do you know a guy named Guy King? That? Guy King. He's a blues player out of Chicago.
No, I don't know. I should.
Yeah, he's from Israel, and he was also like a prodigy at a very young age. And he was playing nationally and stuff like that.
Yeah, we have so many great players, man. It's really out of control,
That's good, man. Is there the same guitars available over there? And are there any good guitars available over there that are not available over here?
Definitely not the second part of your question.
Okay.
But, you can find everything, especially nowadays. I bought my first guitar when I was actually visiting my family in California. And me and my grandpa went to California, and he bought me my first serious jazz guitar, because those were not very available in Israel.
What did you get?
ES 175.
You still have it?
I still have it.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I'll
man.
never sell it because it was from my grandfather.
Yeah, that's very cool.
It's like kind of a very sentimental for me.
Yeah, I can definitely understand that.
Mm-hmm.
Did you come from a musical family then?
I would say musical, yes, but not like nobody was like professional or anything like that.
Okay, so just music.
My father,
go
my father was super musical. I think he played when he was young, but he was not a musician. He was just like he had a regular day job, and but he was always playing. He had very good ears. I knew it because he always whistle, very in tune, and I think he could probably go to the piano and just play any melody. And my brother is also a musician. My brother is a singer, opera singer, and is also a trombone player.
Here or in Israel?
In Israel, actually. Yeah.
Very cool, man. And you got your scholarship to the New School. Is that what made you move to the States, or were you coming regardless?
That was kind of coming to New York was always a dream of mine since I got into jazz. Because that was the place that everybody wanted to go to, and the school was kind of was an excuse because I had to deal with the visa situation somehow. So not to disrespect school or anything. School is a great thing, but it wasn't like my goal or anything. It was kind of a way, but it turned out to be a great thing for me. School. So
it was pain in the ass getting the visa.
Getting a visa for non-Americans, especially Israelis, is kind of difficult.
I don't know that.
Yeah, I know it's weird, right? But so I had to get something, So and the school was a nice kind of like a landing point for me.
Yeah.
Into the States, have some kind of like a regime. And I met a lot of people, man, and I ended up playing with a lot of people that went to school with me, and some of the teachers also I become very, close with and played with. So it was a good starting point for me.
Cool. What was it like when you first came here, as far as like the cultural differences or just the differences in how people relate socially? Honestly,
it was huge, man.
Yeah.
I feel like culturally, Israelis are very different. So it definitely took a moment, for things for me to really, learn how to behave.
What were some of the differences, like specifically?
I think us Israelis, we are very straight. We're very honest. Here, I think there's a lot more codes, of communication between people, things that you're supposed to say, even if it's not necessarily what you feel. You know what I mean?
Even in New York?
Maybe you don't know what I mean.
No, because no, because like I thought.
Yeah, maybe less than New York, but yeah, for sure.
Interesting. Yeah. Can you give me an example?
I would say just being honest about things that maybe you would not be honest about. We tend to speak our mind,
Yeah.
Which sometimes is a good thing too. I think sometimes it's a good thing.
Because I think it's great.
Yeah, I think it's we're getting into a whole anthropological discussion here, which is super interesting. But yeah, I don't know. Really no. Not sure I know the answer.
Yeah. I think it's great. I always try to be straight because, like, it's easy. And I can barely manage things being straight if I have to start.
Right. But I also got to say that after 13 years of living here, there are also some nice things about it. Sometimes Israelis are so direct to a point where it's like people here would consider it aggressive, I would think,
Okay. Yeah. I can understand what you're saying.
So it's all a matter of perspective.
Yeah.
At the end, right?
No, totally. Because if everybody's communicating one way, then nobody takes it rude or offensive. because that's the norm. But if all of a sudden you come to a place where things are couched a little bit, or maybe not as direct, or people, depending on the person who you're talking to, they're not direct at all. Maybe, yeah, I can understand what you're saying. Yeah, I always prefer the direct. I had this saying, "Don't piss on my back and tell me it's raining out."
Ah, right.
If you're not happy, that's okay. Just let me know.
Right.
What are you working on now that you're excited about?
You mean like is it in general or?
You tell me, musically in general.
Oh man, I'm always excited because I'm always learning new music. I'm always practicing and studying. So I've been for the past many years, I've been really digging deeper and deeper into Brazilian music and South American music in general. And it's just there's so much to study,
For sure.
And I've always been studying Bach. I love Bach, and I always like to study so many different kinds of music, man. Brad Mehldau, Keith Jarrett, different guitar players too. Never ending.
And you had said before we went on the air that you have an album coming out in February.
Right, and that's the more kind of like grand scheme of things. I have an album of my music coming in February, which is going to be very exciting because we're going to have some very it's a very beautiful album. I'm very happy about it. It's going to feature John Patitucci on bass and some other very special guests, and it's going to be great. Also, I recorded another album with a great Argentinian composer by the name of Carlos Aguirre. And that album is probably going to be released next year too. And I'm going to have some nice tours going next year to support those two albums. So looking forward to all that.
That's awesome.
I'm also writing the material for the third video from my music masterclass videos, which is, if you haven't checked it out yet, I would recommend you to do so if you want to check out some of the things that I'm working on, and I've kind of put together like this very very honest presentation of how the things that I work on and some of the basics of jazz and the basics of jazz guitar. I think I've gotten some very, very warm responses. So it's
very
been
cool.
Great. So I'm gonna do the sequel. The third one is gonna,
Very cool. And that's all. And it's all jazz guitar instruction.
I mean, I'm sure all of it would be great too. It doesn't matter if you play jazz or not, because there's some technical stuff there. There's some rhythmical stuff. There's chords. I think there's something to be benefited for everybody.
Very cool.
But it's a lot of it is some of the examples are through some harmonic stuff that is taken from jazz, from standards, but not only. It's some stuff that I've collected, through the years. Talks about composition a little bit.
Very cool, man. Hey, you've played with some really heavy cats on some cool projects, and
right.
I was curious: is it possible for you to pick your top 3 musical experiences you've had?
I would give you just one, okay? Just one that was pretty recent. In June, I got called to play with one of my heroes, the great Ivan Lins. He's a great singer-songwriter from Brazil. Very, very famous and amazing songwriter, composer, singer, and somebody that I really admired. And I was very surprised when the call came from my friend Leonardo Amoedo, the great guitar player that if you guys don't know, you should definitely check out. He's been playing with Ivan for, I guess, over 20 years probably. And there was one tour that Ivan had in the States, and Leo recommended me to do, and it was really fantastic. Also, it was kind of cool because it was kind of different from what I do. In the last years, I haven't really supported, singers that was kind of cool for me to be in that chair, and do that, especially somebody like him that I just adore,
Where was the tour?
So that, we played in California, we played in Washington D.C. It was like 4 gigs.
Very cool, man.
But it was really unforgettable.
That's awesome. Hey,
yeah.
What were some of the lower points or the more challenging times of your career, and how did you manage to get through them?
Yeah, I guess moving to New York in the beginning was very, very challenging for me. My beginning here was really not smooth, and things definitely didn't go so easy. And all the stuff that I started to do, playing with all those people, it came after a while. It didn't happen straight away. So I'm in a way, I'm glad I was patient, because I was able to go through those hard times and still be here in New York and doing all this great stuff that fills me with joy and happiness,
and
inspiration.
What was your childhood like growing up in Israel?
Well, it's hard. I only have this perspective, so I don't know how it would be, growing up elsewhere.
Yeah.
But it was beautiful. I think it was really beautiful. I had a really great family, lots of friends. I went. My high school was really, really. I really lucked out. I think my high school is probably the reason why I'm still a musician, because it was an arts high school. And I met all those cool kids, that was also into the same thing that I'm into. And I bonded with a lot of people there and, got really inspired by the teachers also. And it was a really great experience for me.
What kind of work did your folks do over in Israel?
My mother was a lawyer and my father just worked for like a government office. Nothing, very boring. No music.
Yeah, it's interesting. But you and your brother both had high level musical talent.
Yeah, definitely. I think all the family has a talent. But I think, I don't know. I'm thinking maybe my brother is also. I got him a lot into music too. When he was a baby, I was just sitting and playing music for him. And
that's very cool, man. Were you always drawn to jazz?
In this way or another, I would say yes. I only become like a real jazz listener later on, I guess, when I turned during my high school years. Also, I had a very influential teacher, actually a few of them, that really got me into jazz. But until high school, I was playing a lot of rock and solid body guitar.
And once you got that 175, have you ever played a solid body again?
Yeah, I sure do. I actually just I recorded some tracks from a new album with a solid body too. I like it. I want to get a Strat actually. I'd like to get a good Strat. I don't have one. I see you got a nice one over there.
Yeah, actually they're both nice. That one is an ebony neck. I love it, man.
Yeah.
But this
you don't need two, man.
What do you have in trade? I'll take the 175.
No, that one. Well, let's talk after because I got some things that maybe interest to you. Actually, I just realized that I have too many guitars and I need to sell some guitars.
Yeah, I feel you. I have a telly I got to get
only the ones I paid for.
Yeah, as opposed to because you get sponsors.
Yeah, some companies that I work with, and I would never. Those are the instruments that I would play.
Yeah.
Live.
Yeah.
So.
Let me ask you this, maybe a tough question. Yeah. If you could go back and give advice, like to your younger self, what advice would you have liked to hear that would have made your life easier?
You're doing the right thing. Keep doing it.
Because you had some doubt at times? Yeah,
I think a lot of young people have. It depends on this. this question is a good question, but I guess the answer also depends on the stage where I was.
Yeah.
You know, how young you're talking about. But yeah, certain times it was doubts. Certain times it was lack of seriousness, I guess. Certain times it was hell no.
Wow, that's interesting because you seem like very like serious about your. That's interesting.
Now I am.
Yeah.
I guess now more than ever. You know, it takes time, man.
Yeah.
I feel like it's a lifetime to learn how to learn. You know.
Sometimes, yeah, for sure, man.
Yeah. And even then, you don't really get it.
Hopefully not, because then it gets boring.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Exactly. That's right.
Hey, let's talk about gear for a few minutes. What is your go-to guitar right now, and what other two would round out your top three?
What is that? Sorry, you got hung out for a second.
Oh, no problem. I said, what is your go-to guitar right now, and what other two?
Yeah, I mean, I have two. I have actually three that I really use a lot now.
Yeah, let's check them out.
This is the first one.
Okay.
This is a beautiful guitar made in Japan by Westville Guitars.
That's the one I've seen you playing a lot. I've seen you playing that a lot on videos, yeah.
And now, here is the Benedetto that I play, and I love it too.
Wow, that's a
beautiful guitar.
Yeah. What kind of that's made in Italy, I'm assuming?
No. Benedetto is made in Georgia, Atlanta, Georgia, man.
And
beautiful guitar.
What kind of pickups?
Not Atlanta, sorry, Savannah,
Georgia. What kind of pickups in there?
That's a A6. It's called.
That's a nice guitar, man. It's really. Can I see that again?
Yeah, and
let me describe it too. I'm sorry for the listeners.
Yeah,
it's like it's a quilted. It's a semi-hollow body, right? And it's got it's really thin, and it's got. Is that an ebony neck? Or is it rosewood? I can't tell. Yeah, it's an ebony.
No, it's
ebony fretboard.
Yeah, right.
And it's just like got a gray quilted top. It's really pretty. I've never seen a guitar like that.
Yeah, it's really beautiful. And then there's this beautiful guitar that I just got now in Japan from a beautiful luthier from Yokohama.
Very cool.
Okayama. Excuse me.
Another
from Okayama. Actually. This guitar has a really special story.
Yeah.
Because the builder, the luthier, wrote to me a while ago on Facebook, and he said, "I really like your music, and I would love to build a guitar for you." So I said, "Okay, sure, man." I love his guitars too. His guitars were amazing, and then my recent trips to Japan was coming closer and closer. And he wrote to me, guitar is all finished. And then there were some really crazy floods in the area where he lived. And I didn't hear from him for a while, actually. And I was worried about him. And apparently he lost his house and he lost his, studio and everything.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. But he was able to save the guitar, man. So that's crazy.
Yeah, that is crazy.
Crazy. This guitar's got some already
spirit.
Yeah.
That's cool, man. Anybody who influences your playing that people would be surprised to hear?
That's a good question. Anybody that influenced my playing that people would be surprised to hear?
Yeah.
Wow, that's a good question. I don't think so. I guess because I think influences kind of come out. At least they're supposed to come out in your playing.
Yeah, for sure, man.
I don't know. Maybe not. That's a good question. I don't know, man. Really don't know.
Let's talk about music, man. If I asked you to pick your top 3 desert island recordings in no order, what's your for today? Knee-jerk reaction.
Exactly. Yeah, I like to ask that question too, and of course, it changes on a very regular basis.
Oh, yeah.
So just from the top of my head, I would think of Carlos Aguirre solo album, piano. It's called Caminos. And I would think of the new John Coltrane album. I mean, it's funny to say new John Coltrane album, but there's actually a new John Coltrane album that was just discovered, right?
Yeah, the unreleased recording or something. I saw that. Right. They were promoting it heavily on Facebook.
So I would take that, and I would take Glenn Gould playing the Goldberg variations. But how's that for you.
That's good. You know what? You said Caminos. Do you know that restaurant, Dos Caminos?
No. Where is that?
It's in the city. There's like 3 or 4 of them. It's pretty good Mexican.
What city? In New York?
Yeah, Dos Caminos.
Oh. No, I don't know. You know, New York is not really known for Mexican food.
No, it's not. But
you know, this is what I do. I love listening to music, and I just every day. Now, as thinking about it, I thought about 2 different albums that, so I always listen to music and always discover and study new things. And this is what I do.
Yeah, man. So, Yotam, what's the most important things that you have learned about yourself throughout your career experience and through life in general?
Wow.
You have to
I guess to trust yourself, and to trust your instincts and work hard.
Where'd you get your work ethic from? Because you obviously have a very strong.
Being around serious musicians too, and realizing that that's the only way. If you want to get good, the only way to get good is to work as hard as you can. There's actually I'm sure there's a correlation between that,
Oh, how hard you work and how successful you are? Yeah, for sure, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Absolutely.
No, because some people tend to think more about talent, talents.
Oh, okay. I see what you mean. Yeah,
I don't really think like that so much.
It's
I mean, I do believe in talent, but sorry.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, I do believe in talent, but I think that talent is only a lot smaller percent than actually other things,
Yeah.
Hard work.
Yeah. No, I agree. And in fact, most of the players I've interviewed would say there are many more talented guitarists than me, but I got this particular gig, or I'm able to do this because of this, because, I have a good work ethic. I have a certain skill set. I have an ability to adapt and understand what the producer needs in the song, or I'm a good guy to hang out with. I'm not an asshole, whatever, some versions of that,
That helps too. That definitely helps.
Yeah.
That definitely helps. Yeah, for sure. All of that, yeah.
Best childhood memory?
Whoa. Yeah, I guess playing guitar, discovering music and discovering chords.
Someone or something you miss from your childhood?
Wow, actually my grandmother that just passed away yesterday.
Oh my God. I'm so sorry, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Wow, I'm really sorry.
But it's cool. She was 98 years old. And she kind of I grew up with her a lot. And so you were just asking me about memories.
Yeah.
I've been reminiscing a lot.
Wow. I'm sorry about that, man.
No, yeah. Thank you. It's life, right?
Yeah, but 98, man, she had a good run.
98, she had amazing.
Yeah, that's great. Hey, man, tell me something about yourself people would either be surprised to hear or might find a little odd.
Sorry, I should have prepared better.
Is that what the answer is?
No, but let me think about it for a second. Yeah. Something that people would be... I'm a very good cook, I guess.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah, I think I am. I mean, at least my wife tells me,
What do you cook, man? What's your thing?
Vegetarian food.
Oh, very cool. A lot of vegetarians. Yeah.
Yeah, because I think musicians tend to be more conscious.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think so. Most important person in your life?
Whoa. My son.
Oh, cool. How old is your son?
He is going to be 3 years old.
Oh, man.
Months.
You got you got busy stuff going on. That's cool, man. Congratulations.
For sure. Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah.
Favorite New York City food?
Favorite New York City food is I gotta say, my food that I make at home. So.
No, really?
Yeah, seriously, man.
That's pretty.
Everybody would tell you.
Everybody.
At least my wife.
Everybody in your house.
Yeah. Right. No, but yeah, that's the food I enjoy the most because I'm so particular sometimes, and I find most restaurants not consistent, and yeah, there's always something. So at home, I know exactly what I like. I know exactly how I like it.
You know what? You made me feel old when you said your son's 3. I have a granddaughter older than that.
Wow, that's beautiful. That's beautiful.
It's beautiful, but it makes me feel old, man. Most important thing your dad and mom taught you?
I guess, to be a good person and to treat each other, to treat other people with respect and with, to be a good guy. Still working on it.
Aren't we all?
Right. Work in progress.
Biggest business or personal win?
Say again.
Biggest business or personal win?
Wow. I guess everything that I do. I mean, everyone, each one of the gigs that I played with all those great people, putting my music out, everything is a win for me, Everything cool. is a achievement.
How about flip side, biggest business or personal disaster?
I mean, not disaster, but I would say the only thing that I don't like as much is the travel part, when you have to take all the planes, the flights, and the, vans and the car rides and all that. So that's for me is the part that I like not as much,
Yeah.
But I do, but then, the gig kind of, makes up for everything. So,
sure.
So it's okay.
Oz said the same thing. He said, this is a difficult business.
He did? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he said, this is a difficult business, not because of the business, because of the, you get beat up. He said, even, I fly to a country, I don't have I have to go to a gig, no time to decompress and used to the time zone. And then,
right.
And then even when you're going around the country, sometimes there's different time zones there. And he said, by the time you come back, you're totally fucked up.
Yeah, I'm sure he talked about Japan in that aspect.
Yeah, different Japan, Europe, just different things.
And yeah, sometimes you go to a place also and you go to some of the most beautiful places in the world and you don't get to see nothing, man, because everything is like you're so busy from the sound check to the from the sound check to the hotel to the gig, from the lobby to the thing.
Yeah.
It's not, there's no dull moments, right?
Sure, man. Do you have any hobbies or interests outside of music besides cooking?
Yeah, cooking. I love spending time with my family. I love reading books. I love football. Soccer.
Yeah.
Yeah. Basketball. I like, spending time with my family, with my friends.
Are you a Knicks fan?
Other hobbies. I'm not a fan of a team. I just enjoy, I enjoy watching
a good game.
Yeah.
Can you talk about a specific experience that either changed your life or just changed the way you think about things?
I gotta say, there's a book that I've been reading for the 3rd time, man.
Wow.
And it's called Sapiens.
Sapience?
Yeah.
What's that? Who wrote that and what is it about?
No, not CE. No. Sorry. Sapiens. A Brief History of Humankind.
So sapiens, like human, like Homo sapiens.
Sorry, I was right. Sapien. I'm not pronouncing it correctly.
Yeah, like That's Homo sapiens. Right.
Excuse me. Right.
No, it's all
Sapiens.
Good.
Yeah.
What's it about?
So that book it's about a brief history of humankind, basically, but in a very, 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 very interesting way. I would really recommend it to everybody.
Like, what does it talk about? Like interactions between people, or what is it like? What's the focus?
No, really the history of humankind on this planet and throughout the whole, the whole thing. all the history from the beginning to until nowadays, and also a little bit about the future. Really, really interesting.
Cool. I'm gonna look into.
I mean, I don't want to talk too much about it because also I think it should speak for itself.
Like a song.
Like a song, like a lot of things. Yeah.
Man, what's the most embarrassing or funniest thing that's ever happened to you on stage or in the studio?
Embarrassing
or funny?
One time I was playing a gig in Israel, and the drummer that was on the gig was a very heavy dude.
Mm-hmm.
And we were playing a gig, a lot of people, and the drum solo comes, and he's taking a drum solo, and in the middle of the drum solo, the chair breaks, and he just falls on the floor, and everybody's just for a second didn't know whether to laugh or to cry. So, but then everybody's just kept, laughed for a quick minute, and we continued playing. It's very, very, very interesting.
You guys must have given him a lot of shit after the gig, I would imagine.
No, I think it's funny because I don't think we ever really spoke about it because maybe it was really embarrassing for him.
Interesting.
Now,
like in this country, that wouldn't have been that would have been like just like not embarrassing for a minute, but that's it. Like
no, I think it. Yeah, it probably would be because it's jazz concert and it's kind of serious and people are watching and pretty embarrassing.
That's funny, man. And last question, Yotam, what's been the biggest change in your personality over the last 10 years, and how much of this change has been deliberate and how much is a natural part of aging?
Well, I guess I always try to change. I always say that every day I try to be a better person and a better musician than yesterday. So I guess my son really taught me a lot also. Being a father really taught me a lot about life. And I guess in a way, I'm projected on the music as well. That was a big one for me.
Man, wait about 10 years. You're going to teach you a whole different chapter about life.
I'm sure. I can't wait.
I don't know if you'll
really a blessing.
I don't know if you'll be saying I can't wait, but it is interesting. Man,
really? Oh no.
Yeah. It's challenging at times when they become teenagers.
Sure. I mean, it's challenging now also.
Oh, this is a breeze. Don't worry. You'll be wishing he was 3 again.
Oh, okay.
Hey, man, I can't thank you enough for your time. Let me just tell people.
Oh, it's my pleasure.
Where to find you. First of all, it's Yotam Silberstein. It's Yotam Silberstein with a B, Silberstein. He's got 5 albums out. His last release was called The Village in 2016. And he's got another album coming out in February with John Patitucci and some other guest stars. You can also find him on social media, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. And also check out his programs on mymusicmasterclass.com. And if you're looking for some great jazz lessons, you can go to is your website, yotamsilberstein.com, correct?
Yotammusic.com.
Yotammusic.com. That's good. And hit him up on his contact form there. He actually does lessons on Skype and in person if you're in the city or if you're in a location where he's on tour. And that's it, man. Any final words of wisdom?
Thank you so much. It's really a pleasure. Thank you for your interest and for your time, and hope to stay in touch and hopefully see each other soon.
Yeah, man. Get down to Florida. I'll come check you out. Hey,
please.
Thank you. I appreciate your time. Everybody, thank you so much for listening. If you enjoyed this interview, please share it with a friend or on your social media channels. We appreciate the support. Thanks again to Yotam Silberstein for spending time with us. I really appreciate it. And make sure you go to the homepage of everyonelovesguitar.com. Sign up to get on our newsletter list. You'll get advance notice of guests and an opportunity to send in your questions. And most important, remember that happiness is a choice, so choose wisely. Be nice, go play your guitar, and have fun. Till next time, peace and love, everybody. I'm out. We hope you enjoyed this show. If you did, subscribe to the Everyone Loves Guitar podcast, and you can do this online at everyonelovesguitar.com or on iTunes. And if you like the show, please leave us a 5-star positive review. The more 5-star reviews we get, the higher our show ranks, and higher rankings mean we get to continue speaking with cool, interesting guests on our show. We'll see you on the next episode, and until then, keep playing your guitar and have fun making music.